what really is BTS's sound. And this is why I'm a multi-stan. Even though I really like BTS, there are other groups that I listen to that give me what I need musically.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together like we fly. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love. From your love.
Hey guys, it's Bree here. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. So first of all, before I get into today's video, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Thank you so much to my subscribers. We recently hit 13K, which is crazy to me. I just feel like in the last few months, my channel has been growing very quickly, and I really do appreciate you guys. So now let's get into today's video topic. If you guys haven't been living under a rock in the K-pop world, you know that yesterday at midnight, BTS premiered their new music video for their song Permission to Dance off their Butter EP. The song is already breaking records, it's doing really well, and I saw a lot of very interesting discourse about BTS's Permission to Dance and just about BTS as a whole and the direction they've been going in lately as far as their music on Twitter. So I really started thinking about Permission to Dance, BTS, and I really wanted to make this video. So in this video, I'll be kind of discussing several viewpoints and opinions on BTS and Permission to Dance that I've seen on Twitter and online in general. I'll even discuss some points that my subscribers made, and then at the end I'll give you my opinion on Permission to Dance as an ARMY and just about BTS in general. So let's get right into the video. So I really started thinking about BTS and Permission to Dance when I saw that one of my mutuals on Twitter actually quote tweeted a tweet from D'Angelo Wallace. Now, if you don't know D'Angelo Wallace, he is like one of the biggest YouTubers right now. I think he might be like the very top commentary channel. I absolutely love his videos. So I was really surprised to see that he was tweeting about BTS. He's not an ARMY, but he does like some of their music. He has checked out their music. So I was really interested to see what he had to say. So I'm actually gonna read you guys his tweet really quickly. I wish the audience BTS is aiming for with their English songs wasn't so unflinchingly biased towards English lyrics. Having done a deep dive into one of their Korean language albums, their music is literally deep and lyrically unique. Then Ed Sheeran gives them English Kids Bop. So yeah. D'Angelo Wallace's tweet was pretty straightforward. He was basically saying that he wasn't that impressed with Permission to Dance or BTS's other English releases such as Butter and Dynamite, and he was basically saying that, you know, lyrically the song wasn't that deep, and that Ed Sheeran basically gave them a watered down generic pop song or an English Kids Bop. So this tweet really made me think, like, is Permission to Dance lyrically inept? Are BTS's latest English singles lyrically bland or lyrically inept or generic pop songs? And if so, is that a bad thing? So first, I just want to touch on Permission to Dance specifically. So first of all, if you look at the writing credits for Permission to Dance, it was produced by Steve Mack, Stephen Kirk, and Jenna Andrews. The genre is considered dance electronic, and Ed Sheeran actually co-wrote the song with Steve Mack, Johnny McDade, and Jenna Andrews. So I did look up Steve Mack and Jenna Andrews. Steve Mack is a very famous British producer, and Jenna Andrews is a Canadian singer and songwriter. So it looks like the production and the songwriting was all done from Western producers, songwriters, and then Ed Sheeran obviously is a Western singer. He's also a songwriter. Just to kind of address D'Angelo's point that Permission to Dance is an English Kids Bop, and I've seen a lot of people saying this as well. They've kind of complained about BTS's English singles, saying that the lyrics aren't that great or that they're bland. So yeah, I will say, yeah, the lyrics are kind of generic, they are kind of bland, they are kind of straightforward, but I honestly think that's okay. Like D'Angelo mentioned, BTS has a host of songs that are beautifully written, that have very beautiful, complex lyrics. If you look at the lyrics to Serendipity, for example, which is one of Jimin's solo songs, the lyrics to that song are absolutely beautiful. Even Microcosmos, they have so many songs that have like beautiful lyrics that tell a story, that paint a certain emotion or feeling. I don't think that in order for BTS to be acknowledged or be seen as a valid artist, that all of their songs need to have really deep lyrics. It's okay for a song to be very carefree and fun with very straightforward lyrics, and I think that the lyrics chosen for Permission to Dance did get the message of the song across. I mean, obviously the song is talking about landing after going through a crazy pandemic where people have died, where people's lives have been changed. It's supposed to be like a happy, uplifting song. We don't need permission to dance. Like, we don't need permission to be happy. We made it, we're okay, and we're living our life. I don't think we need like very complex lyrics to deliver that message. It's supposed to be a fun, generic pop song. I think that was BTS's intention. Even from the music video, you get the message that it's supposed to be a feel-good song that really uplifts people, gives them hope as we open up this new chapter where the pandemic is getting better. And there's also a lot of diversity. There's a lot of unity portrayed in the music video. You even have the members using sign language. So I think it's definitely about inclusion as well. And I do think the lyrics delivered that message successfully. I guess what I'm saying is I kind of do agree with D'Angelo's point, but I don't think that his point is necessarily a bad thing. If you want to listen to lyrics that are really complex and great, you can go to the rest of BTS's discography. I mean, they have hundreds of songs. So now I just wanted to address some points that I've seen other people voice just on my timeline or in my comment section or in general. So I've heard people say I'm tired of BTS's English songs or BTS is westernized. So as far as people saying they're tired of BTS's English songs, I do kind of understand that because 3 of some of their most recent singles, Dynamite, Butter, and now Permission to Dance, have been in English. But if you look at the rest of BTS's title tracks and singles, they have been Korean songs. So I think people are just focusing on the music that was released during the pandemic, and they're saying that they're tired of English songs. So I do get that. If you're someone who prefers to hear BTS sing in Korean, you might feel a type of way because their recent singles have been in English. But I just want to bring another perspective to that. Like, BTS does have a huge international fan base. I'm an English speaker, so even if I might prefer when BTS sings in Korean, I do think it's nice that they're releasing songs in English because I'm sure that they know that they have a lot of international fans who don't speak Korean. So I kind of do appreciate that at the same time, even if I do prefer their Korean songs. As far as BTS being westernized, I do think that that's a very interesting take because K-pop itself is Korean pop music. Pop is Western music. Yes, now like everybody does pop, it's like a global genre, but it does have Western roots. So I think when people say that, I'm kind of confused because K-pop is literally a fusion of a bunch of different genres of music, but mostly pop music. So it's kind of interesting to me that people, make that point. As far as BTS wanting to pander or appeal to the Western market, I think that that's only natural as artists for them to want to do. They're already the biggest musical group or band in the world. It only makes sense that they would want to expand in the West and make it in the West, whether that's dominating the charts or winning a Grammy. That's kind of like the natural path that most artists that aren't from the West want to do. We see other K-pop labels doing this as well. We see SM with NCT Hollywood, SM with Super M. So it's kind of normal for K-pop now that K-pop is so global for them to want to really tap into the Western market. I mean, it means money, it means success, it means fame. Even though that might sound xenophobic to say, once you make it in the West, that is like a big deal. And BTS is so big because they made it internationally. So I only think that that's a natural path for them to want to take as artists. And I also want to mention, as far as people saying that they're tired of BTS's English songs, Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance, I think all of these songs really had a purpose. They were released during the pandemic, which was a really hard time for a lot of people, and I think they served that purpose. I also want to mention that BTS's most recent album, the most recent full-length album, B, was entirely in Korean besides Dynamite, so it's not like BTS has totally stopped doing English songs, and I think people are forgetting that. Now, it's totally okay if you're just saying that you don't like their 3 English songs or that's just not your vibe. That's fine, but I think it's kind of misleading to imply that that's all BTS is doing. because that's just not true. I also see a lot of people saying, oh, I just prefer BTS's older music. And to be honest with you, I think that that's totally okay. Personally, I can resonate with that. The last album that BTS released that I absolutely loved and could play from start to finish was Love Yourself Tear. Ever since then, I've been liking songs here and there from BTS's albums, but I've never had like a cohesive album since then that I can just sit down to and listen to with no skips. That's just me personally, and I think that's totally okay. And I think if you feel that way, that's fine, and you should just like listen to BTS's older music. I also want to mention that BTS are now like all in their mid to late 20s. They're adults now, they've grown as people, and they've also grown as artists. It's completely normal for artists to grow as far as their sound, to mature, to experiment with different sounds and different genres of music. As human beings, we're not static beings, we do change. And that's the same with artists. I feel like if they never switched it up, I think they would get bored, and I think their fans would get bored too. So I also want to give that point. And I do think that even though BTS's sound has changed, I do think that they still have some songs, some recent songs that feel very them. Black Swan to me felt very them. Then again, BTS has tried so many different genres at this point. So it's like, what really is BTS's sound? I think they've tried some of everything. So it's really hard to narrow that down unless you're specifically talking about their first few albums where there were like very heavy hip hop and R&B influences, which I totally understand. I feel like now, overall, to generalize, they do feel more like pop. So if that's your vibe, I do totally understand that. I just think that as artists, they're still going to grow, they're still going to change. If you prefer their old music, that's okay, and maybe with their next full-length album, you know, you'll get more songs that maybe feel more like their older sound to you personally. I also saw a lot of ARMY on Twitter saying things like, oh, if you don't like this song, we don't want to hear it, like, we don't want that negativity, keep it to yourself and stop saying that you like BTS's old music and that you don't like their new music. Now, as far as that goes, I think it's totally okay to prefer BTS's older music, like I mentioned before. Everybody has different musical tastes, right? And I also don't really think it's fair to tell people to not voice their opinions. I think in any fandom space, you should be able to, or you should feel comfortable in expressing your opinions, because it's only natural for you to not like every single song that your favorite artist releases, and that's totally okay. As long as you're expressing your opinion without like saying something crazy, like hating on BTS or saying like really mean or like random things, I think it's totally okay to state your opinion because it's just your opinion. I think it's good to hear varying and different opinions from your own. I think that's what makes things interesting, and like I said, everyone's going to have their own taste in music. I also don't think not liking Permission to Dance or not liking some of BTS's recent releases makes you any less of an ARMY. That just means that you have different tastes than someone else, and that's okay. So I do see that a lot, where a lot of ARMY are kind of almost silencing other ARMY or making them feel bad or feel afraid to say that they don't like a song because maybe they'll be attacked if they say that, and I don't think that's okay. I think that that's toxic, and it just shouldn't be a thing in any fandom space. You can be an ARMY and not like every single song that BTS releases. Like me personally, I wasn't crazy about Dynamite. When I said that on one of my unpopular opinions videos, a lot of people didn't like that and felt the need to argue with me about it. Yes, Dynamite is a great song to a lot of people. It broke records. It had a very fun message. But that doesn't mean that everybody is going to like the song for what it is sonically. That's okay. That doesn't mean I'm less of an ARMY. That doesn't mean that BTS is less of an artist. That just means that that song didn't fit my personal taste. So I do think it's okay for people to say they don't like Permission to Dance if they don't like it. As long as they're not being hateful or disrespectful to BTS or anything else, you should be able to voice your opinion. It doesn't make you any less of an ARMY. I've also seen people say, oh, if you don't like Permission to Dance, you just don't like fun, you don't like fun concepts. I don't really know if I agree with that being the reason why some people don't like Permission to Dance, because BTS has done fun concepts before that people have really liked. Boy with Love was a very fun concept that kind of had like almost an 80s pop retro dance feel. A lot of people liked that. BTS has a lot of songs, a lot of fun B-sides like Go Go is another one that I can think of that was really fun and almost simplistic, and people liked that as well. So I don't think that saying that people don't like fun concepts is a valid reason for why some people don't like Permission to Dance. I think that it's deeper than that. Everybody has their own reasons. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk about my opinion on Permission to Dance and hopefully bring all of the points together. So first of all, the song has a beautiful message. Like I said before, to me, what it meant to me was kind of like overcoming the pandemic, which has been a really hard time, knowing how to land, knowing how to come back from everything, enduring. It's kind of like a celebration. We made it. We don't need permission to dance. Despite the circumstances, despite the hardships that we've been through, we have permission. We have a reason to be happy and to celebrate and to just live life. I really feel like if you watched this music video and didn't feel anything, I'm worrying about you, because it was just very touching. There was a lot of diversity, a lot of inclusion. We saw people dancing. At the end, everyone kind of takes the mask off. There was some symbolism with the purple balloon, which to me symbolizes army, some references to maybe some concerts happening. The wait is over, what's to come. The members were even doing sign language. So there was a lot of symbolism, a lot to unpack in this music video. I think the music video was great. As far as the song, to be honest with you, sonically, it wasn't really my thing. And when I say that, I'm talking about the instrumental. To me, now I understand that this song was co-written by Ed Sheeran and produced by some Western music producers. Sonically, to me, it didn't sound like a BTS song. And I understand that because BTS's team didn't really work on it, right? But it was almost like, I don't know, it was almost like I couldn't wrap my head around that this was a BTS song. I could totally understand if maybe it was Bruno Mars or someone like that, but for me, I was just like, wow, okay, this is BTS. It almost felt like an out-of-body experience. Like I couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing and kind of connecting the dots. Like I said, the song was beautiful. It delivered a message. It fulfilled its purpose, but it just personally wasn't my taste. That's okay. It doesn't mean I'm any less of an army. Doesn't mean I hate BTS. Doesn't mean I'm saying that they're selling out, that they've lost their authenticity, because they still are who they are, I think. But I do think they're going through a phase where they're really trying to chase topping the charts. They're really trying to possibly get that Grammy. They've kind of really broken boundaries if you think about it. I never thought that 10 years ago that a K-pop group would have infiltrated the Western market the way BTS has. So I think that they're really chasing that wave, especially since eventually they're going to have to enlist in the military. And that's okay. That's their path. If that's what they want to do, if that's what makes them happy as artists, I think as fans, we can just support that, even if the song isn't really our thing, so to speak. So I mentioned that the song isn't my taste sonically. Just to give you an idea of BTS songs that I do like, I'm just gonna list some so you can kind of know what I mean as far as what my taste is when it comes to BTS. So some BTS songs I love are Filter, My Time, Black Swan, Serendipity, Go Go, Fake Love, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Autumn Leaves, Save Me, I Need You, Let Me Know, Tomorrow, No More Dream, Embarrassed, Lie, Ugh, DNA, Euphoria, Silver Spoon, and Seesaw. And there are like tons of other BTS songs that I like as well, but those are just some of my favorites, just so you can get a vibe of the type of BTS songs I like. Now, you probably noticed none of their English songs were on that list, because even though I like Butter, out of the three, I think I probably like Butter the most. They're just not my favorites when it comes to BTS. The song just didn't do it for me sonically. Even as far as the instrumental, I like songs that have layers when it comes to the instrumentals. I like really complex songs with a lot of different sounds, a lot of different sonic layers going on in the song. To me, the instrumental was kind of boring. I also noticed the use of auto-tune in this song. I noticed it more so in Dynamite. I felt like Dynamite had way too much auto-tune for my taste. I did notice it a little bit in this song as well. Personally, I wish, as far as the mixing, they didn't mess with their voices as much as they did, because I really like that rawness that we used to get with BTS's music when they were singing. Now with this song and with Dynamite, I feel like they really do auto-tune their voices a lot. Even in Boy With Love, for example. I love that song, but I felt like there was so much auto-tune, and in Dynamite as well, that it's really, sometimes it's almost like their voices almost sound too similar, if that makes sense. Which shouldn't happen, because everyone in BTS, they each have totally different colors when it comes to their voices. And I think that when you auto-tune them too much, it really takes that away, and thus kind of takes away from the experience of the song. I think that Permission to Dance was a beautiful song. It was a great pick-me-up song. It personally wasn't my favorite song, but once again, this is why BTS has other songs, and this is why I'm a multi-stan. Even though I really like BTS, there are other groups that I listen to that give me what I need musically that maybe BTS didn't give me in their most recent release. I actually asked my subscribers what they thought of the Butter EP or just Permission to Dance, and 2 of them actually said something that I have been thinking and saying for the past year or so. And basically what they said was that personally, TXT and ENHYPEN have been giving them what they've been craving musically more than BTS has recently. Basically, TXT and ENHYPEN's music has been resonating with them more than BTS. I'm an ARMY, but I can say the same thing. For example, I loved TXT's Blue Hour. I felt that that was a way better song than Dynamite. As far as the production of the song, as far as the instrumentals, just the lyrics, I loved that song. I've been loving ENHYPEN's title tracks lately. So I think that's the beauty of K-pop. You don't necessarily have to put all of your eggs in one basket. You can be an ARMY and not like every single thing that BTS releases. You can go to other artists and listen to them, or you can listen to BTS's older music, and that's okay. You can listen to BTS's older music and then come back to them when they release something that you like. And in K-pop, there is something for everybody, right? If BTS isn't doing a certain sound or a certain vibe that you want, there are other artists out there. At this point, I'm just going to close out the video. Those are my thoughts on Permission to Dance. At this point, BTS's accolades speak for themselves. I think what matters is if BTS is happy with the music that they're releasing and the music that they're doing, and if they're achieving the success that they want. I think Permission to Dance served its purpose. It touched a lot of people, and if you don't like the song sonically, that's okay. That doesn't make you any less of an ARMY. If you like the song, that's great. You can enjoy it. I do think that questioning BTS's authenticity and whether they're westernized or not is a little bit too much, but I do agree that their sound has changed over the years, which is only natural for an artist that's growing and maturing. The Butter EP was just an English EP that was kind of a gift to ARMY for BTS's 8-year anniversary. And who knows, maybe the next project that BTS releases will be more in line what a lot of us are used to. So that's about it for today's video. Please drop your thoughts about Permission to Dance and the Butter EP in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys liked Permission to Dance, if you didn't like it, what you thought of the Butter EP as a whole, and also what you think about the direction that BTS has been going recently with their music, whether it's with their English singles as well as their recent album B. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love reading your thoughts. Some of you guys have really interesting takes, so please share them with me. Also, if you liked this video, please support my channel by liking this video, sharing it with a friend, and hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. You can also support my channel by donating on my Buy Me a Coffee, and that's at buymeacoffee.com. You can also join my Patreon where I post exclusive content, including podcasts and more. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!